Do your job.
This video is brought to you by True Honor. GoDaddy.com. Enter code HUB749 for a discount off a domain name.
Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit.
Marcos Villegas for FightUpTV.com, standing here with Gary Shaw in Los Angeles. Chad Dawson's going to face Bernard Hopkins, and it always seems that even though your guy has all the advantages on paper except for experience, it's always a difficult match against someone the caliber of Bernard Hopkins, isn't it?
Well, Bernard has a certain style, and Chad will deal with that style. He knows what to expect. I had dinner with him last night at the grill.
You're always having dinner with all your fighters, Gary.
Yeah, it's running me a lot of money. But we ate at the grill last night in Beverly Hills, one of my all-time favorite restaurants. Great John Dory fish, if anybody wants something special. At any rate, he said he's been watching Hopkins since he's 15 years old. He feels like he knows him backwards and forwards. And he knows his style. And I don't think if history didn't happen the way it did, Hopkins would ever face Chad. But Chad made Pascal a star. Pascal actually remade Hopkins. And now Hopkins and Dawson are facing one another. It's going to be a great fight. I mean, this thing with believe it or not, the answer is not. And Richard Schaffer and Bernard are delirious. And what they should do is go back to the beginning of the NBA season, where the Miami Heat spent millions upon millions of dollars forming this dream team to win the NBA. And last I watched, I thought I saw the Dallas team up there getting the trophy. So Hopkins is talking past Dawson. He's talking Butte in Canada and all kinds of nonsense. My suggestion is he better put his sights on October 15th here at Staples. But the answer, believe it or not, not.
Are you happy that this fight is happening now as opposed to maybe a year or 2 years ago when both their names came up in a potential matchup?
Yes, because I don't believe Hopkins was ever ready back then. I don't think the fight was ever going to happen. I remember watching Hopkins on ESPN Friday Night Fights saying if Dawson won the fight, he was next. And he won that fight and he wasn't next. So boxing's a strange sport. It doesn't have a schedule like baseball and football. And sometimes one door closes, another door opens. That's how it happens, and here we are today.
Now, the last person that Hopkins lost to was Joe Calzaghe, who was a southpaw but a volume puncher. Chad's a very methodical fighter, like Bernard. Do you think that they might take this into account, maybe picking up the pace in the fight against Bernard to try to maybe employ this type of strategy, or do you foresee a different type of strategy being employed on that Saturday night?
Yeah, great question. I can't speak for Hopkins, obviously. I can only speak for Chad. Chad's going to pick up the pace. He can be a volume puncher. He's a lot faster than anybody Hopkins has ever faced. So all he has to do is fire off his jab like he knows how to fire it off and throw a lot of combinations, and I believe that'll win the fight.
And what do you make of the partnership now between Emmanuel Stewart and Chad Dawson? How did that all come about? Was that a recommendation on your part or something that you helped facilitate? Talk to me a little bit about that.
No, Chad picks his own trainers. And he was comfortable with the choice of Emmanuel at that point, and they seemed to gel. But it was only one fight, so we'll see what happens going forward.
How do you think this fight's going to end up? Do you think it's going to be an exciting, fan-friendly fight? How do you think it's going to end?
I think it's going to be a very fan-friendly fight. I think they're going to see a new and improved Chad Dawson, one going back to when he was younger, jabbing more, throwing a lot more combinations. I think that's what you'll see. And I'm daring Bernard Hopkins to go do push-ups between rounds. I dare him.
Gary, thank you very much.
Thank you.